Thank you for inviting Pasadena to participate in today's summit. This is so exciting for us. Thank you very much. I can't go without thanking Sue and David for introducing Connect the Dots to Pasadena. One phone call from Sue to our Metropolitan Transportation Authority called me to let me know that there was this integrated mobility concept that they thought that Pasadena should look at. Within 2 months, we had a pilot program. Within 3 months, we had an assessment of our needs. Alan has only been with me for 3 months. He was an intern this summer, USC intern. Within 3 months, he wrote a $53 million Tiger Grant based on the initiative from Sue and David, and I couldn't leave without letting you all know that. I am so proud. I am. Yes, and then we did receive a $700,000 grant for additional charging stations to develop our infrastructure and to retrofit the current EV charging stations we have currently in Pasadena. I was going to say great things about the grant and Alan Huynh, but I think David did a perfect job of doing that. So again, thank you for inviting Pasadena here today, and Alan will present the city's integrated mobility for economic growth project plan. Thank you, Alan.
So I'm just to let everyone understand, this is a PowerPoint I developed so that we could try to explain the idea of integrated mobility or new mobility to a lot of the people within the city of Pasadena. Like everyone had said earlier in the international stages, it's trying to get people to understand this concept that's so hard. So I try to make a TDM approach of new mobility. So we're going to start it off. So the goal of integrated mobility is to increase economic growth and vitality while increasing the utility of alternative transportation options in order to create a sustainable community that meets the triple bottom line. And those who aren't in the planning school or in policy, the triple bottom line is having a goal that serves both the economic, environmental, and equity issues of an area. So what we did is we created a 3-part system. And most of the people here, I have actually met a couple people outside. If you're a transportation person, you think about transportation all the time. You can't help it. But most people aren't. And this is why we have to kind of use this 3-part system in order to have new mobility. And what we're going to have is intense transportation corridors. We're talking car sharing, bike stations, bus, light rail, tram, everything. And we're going to have information-rich environments. So this is going to talk about the cloud, the data cloud, about bringing all this information to people wherever they need, however they need it. And we're going to use the synergies between the information and the transportation options to create economic development within the area. So, like I said, a multimodal transportation corridor, you guys can read it. It's all about speed, frequency, marketing, and getting that connectivity. If you have all of those, and if you can give some sort of incentives, you're going to get people to use alternative methods of transportation. It's the basis of TDM. It's about addressing demand, getting more demand, and how to make sure that demand is spread equally throughout the area to increase your density. So everybody here can probably agree that this is what transportation should do. But what we're going to talk about now is information-rich environments, and this idea of a data cloud. It's really hard for some people to understand, but essentially, the internet is a data cloud. It's one form of a data cloud. What we want to do is we want to make a data cloud for transportation and economic development, and for the city, for the local areas, for the municipalities. So what does information-rich environments do? They provide more information. It makes things more efficient. It's going to enhance communication because now a lot of people with their smartphones, a lot of people with the Facebook, a lot of people with the Twitter, you're more connected now and communicating with one another than ever before. You're not calling people as much anymore. You're texting them. You're not just calling people to set up messages. You're sending Outlook and appointment invites. And finally, you're going to enhance the market. You're going to start removing the middlemen because in the past, you might have to contact someone's secretary. They put it into the book. Now, like I said, Outlook appointments, you send it to the person, they accept or they deny. You've taken out the middleman. But finally, just for some of the international people, it's if you give more information, it really gives residents the power to do a lot more. And if you're working in a city, you know that cities are not, you can't be proactive, you're usually responsive. And you can only do things and you can only really make changes if the people want you to. And the only way people want you to make changes is if they know what's going on. When you see a bus and it's double stacked and you're wondering why it's taking 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes, and if you have the option to report that to the city officials and city management and employees can actually go about and try to change that for you. So that's another benefit of having an information-rich environment. So how does this all work together? Well, we're going to have economic development, and it's not just going to happen because we have a data cloud and all this transportation. We're going to start making them work together. We're going to leverage local universities, community colleges, young people. We're going to get people to come out there and really be a part of this idea of a green economy, where they'll have the ability to move upward through work experience. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's all this new technology, there's ITS from the old days, but nobody knows how to use them all together. And people are being innovative about it, and that's the beauty of this whole system, is that we're creating a framework to let people be innovative, to spur new jobs. And right now what we're saying is we're going to have transportation to increase economic development, but we have no idea what would happen if this is successful. We don't know what the environmental impacts might be, and that's what this is all about. Having a data cloud and having all this information for people to leverage is what really is the benefit of this system. I mean, the transportation is important because it creates and it gives data to the cloud for people to use. But at the end of the day, it's what comes from that cloud is what we're really looking at. So like I said, it's a comprehensive framework. The data cloud is going to be the foundation that's going to benefit businesses and consumers, because at the end of the day, the customer doesn't really care about how they get to their destination. They care about the destination. Nobody says, they don't enjoy the drive to the movie theater. They enjoy the movie at the movie theater. And that's what this is about. Businesses are going to be able to look at travel patterns. They're going to be able to strategically market at certain audiences. And it's happening more and more. When you're on Google and you start typing in a search, you start seeing advertisements that are relevant to what you're searching for. If you give more information about yourself, it starts putting advertisements that are aimed at what you want. So consumers, a lot of consumers have smartphones, laptops, and we're going to have this idea of kiosks. And right now, a lot of people have wayfinding kiosks. It's just, general information. I was at the Detroit airport. I didn't know where the baggage claim was. It told me where it was. But imagine if, you were at the kiosk and you looked at that baggage claim and you're like, I also need a taxi, or I need that Metro car to come pick me up. And imagine if you could do the registration right there. That's the kind of system we're talking about. Once you get off the transit or once you get off the light rail and you're at this area,